Hey, beautiful souls, can we have a heart-to-heart moment, diving deep into the fascinating world of twin flame journey? I've noticed something fascinating. Sometimes we're our own biggest roadblocks to union, and the tricky part, we often don't even realize it. Well, the twin flame journey isn't just about romantic reunion. I know you agree with this. It's actually a profound spiritual awakening disguised as a love story. And that's exactly why understanding what might be holding us back is so crucial. Many people wonder, why isn't union happening for me? And time after time, I've observed patterns, subtle, sneaky little habits and mindsets that act like invisible walls between us and our divine counterparts. These aren't your typical just work on yourself kind of blocks. They're deeper, more nuanced, and honestly, they're totally natural parts of the journey. But here's the good news. Once you become aware of these blocks, you're already halfway to dissolving them. In this reading, as your friendly wake-up call from someone who's going through the same thing you are, we're going to explore 5 key areas where you might be unconsciously creating delays in your union, and more importantly, how to shift these patterns. Ready to get real and maybe even a little uncomfortable? Trust me, this kind of honest self-reflection is exactly what your soul ordered. Let's dive in and uncover what might be standing between you and that divine union you're yearning for. You know that feeling when you're gripping something so tightly your knuckles turn white? That's exactly what many of us do on our twin flame journey. We hold on so tight, we actually push away what we're trying to attract. Now let me paint you a picture. Imagine trying to catch a soap bubble. The gentler your touch, the longer it stays intact. Try to grab it, and poof, it's gone. That's the paradox of twin flame union. The more we try to orchestrate every detail, checking their social media hourly, analyzing every message, orchestrating accidental meetings, the more we actually interfere with divine timing. The universe has a perfect timing that our human minds simply cannot comprehend. And you know what? I've seen it play out hundreds of times in my practice. The moment someone finally throws their hands up and says, "Okay, universe, I trust you," that's when the magic starts happening. Here's the deeper truth that many aren't ready to hear. This controlling behavior often stems from our own unhealed wounds. When we're constantly trying to manipulate outcomes, what we're really saying is, I don't trust that I'm worthy of this love naturally coming to me. Ouch, right? But acknowledging this is incredibly liberating. Think of it like trying to steer a river. You can build all the dams and channels you want, but water will always find its natural path. Your twin flame connection is that river. It has its own divine flow, its own sacred timing. When you try to control it, you're essentially telling the universe, I don't trust your plan is better than mine. The antidote, surrender. But not the passive, giving up kind of surrender. I'm talking about active surrender, the kind where you consciously choose to release your grip on the how and when while staying fully present in your own growth journey. It's about shifting from making it happen to allowing it to unfold. Yeah. Remember, beautiful soul, your twin flame connection isn't something you need to manage. It's something you need to embody. When you stop trying to control the external and focus on your internal alignment, that's when the real magic begins to unfold. And isn't that what this journey is really all about? Let's have about something that might feel a bit uncomfortable. Self-love on the twin flame journey. You know, it's fascinating how often we think we're ready for union while secretly harboring deep wounds of unworthiness. It's like trying to fill someone else's cup when our own is cracked and leaking. Here's a truth that clarifies a lot of things. Self-love isn't just about positive affirmations in the mirror or treating yourself to spa days, though those are lovely. It's about the deep, sometimes messy work of embracing every single part of yourself, even the shadows you've been running from. Think of self-love like tending to a garden. You can't just water the pretty flowers and ignore the weeds, hoping they'll disappear. Every aspect needs attention, care, and acceptance. Those weeds, your perceived flaws, past mistakes, and painful memories, they're actually essential parts of your soul's growth journey. Until you make peace with who you are, you'll never be content with what you have, as I often remind myself. This especially rings true in twin flame dynamics, where every unhealed wound becomes magnified in the mirror of your divine counterpart. Let me share something vulnerable. I have seen many beautiful souls stuck in the cycle of seeking validation of their connection. They're constantly asking, is this real? Do they really love me? Why aren't they choosing me? But here's the magical twist. These questions aren't really about your twin at all. They're whispers from your own soul, asking you to turn that loving attention inward. The paradox is this: true union becomes possible not when you've perfected yourself, but when you've learned to love yourself completely, imperfections and all. It's about reaching a place where union becomes a beautiful bonus to an already full and complete life, not a desperate need to feel whole. Remember, your twin flame isn't here to complete you. They're here to reflect the completeness that already exists within you. When you truly embody this truth, when you can sit peacefully in your own company and feel genuinely full of love, that's when the magic starts happening. Not because you've become perfect, but because you've become real. And isn't that authenticity what true love is all about? Well, let's talk about something that might make you squirm a little in your seat. The victim story we sometimes get tangled in on this twin flame journey. You know the one I'm talking about. They abandoned me. Why do I have to do all the work? The universe is so unfair. Here's the thing about the victim mindset. It's like wearing glasses with dark lenses and wondering why everything looks gloomy. It feels so real, so justified when we're in it. And let's be honest, sometimes it even feels good in a strange way, doesn't it? There's a certain comfort in believing we're powerless because it means we don't have to take responsibility for our healing journey. But let me share something profound that transformed my understanding. Every time we play the victim card, we're actually giving away our power to create the very love story we're dreaming of. It's like holding the keys to your dream house, but insisting someone else needs to open the door for you. I remember one woman who was deeply embedded in her victim story. "He's choosing his karmic partner over me," she'd say, tears streaming down her face. "It's not fair." But here's where the magic happened. The day she shifted from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this teaching me?" everything changed. Within months, not only did her twin flame situation transform, but her entire life blossomed in unexpected ways. Think of your twin flame journey like a movie. When you're stuck in victim mode, you're watching yourself as a powerless character in someone else's script. But what if, and this is where it gets exciting, what if you're actually the director, the screenwriter, and the star of this divine love story? What if every challenge, every separation, every moment of heartache is actually a plot point you chose for your soul's growth? The truth is, this journey isn't happening to you. It's happening through you and for you. Every trigger, every painful moment, every perceived rejection, they're all sacred invitations to reclaim your power. They're not punishments. They're promotions waiting to be claimed. Here's a little secret I've learned. The universe doesn't respond to our victim story. It responds to our victor story. When you shift from why me to try me, that's when the real magic begins to unfold. It's like switching from black and white TV to full HD color. Suddenly, you see all the beautiful possibilities that were there all along. So, beloved soul, are you ready to put down the victim script and pick up the pen to write your own story? Remember, you're not the one waiting to be rescued in this twin flame journey. You're the one doing the rescuing, starting with yourself. And isn't that the most beautiful plot twist of all? The power was always within you. Always. It's time to rise, to shine, to claim your role as the conscious creator of your journey. Because when you do, you'll discover that what seemed like a tragedy was actually the opening scene of the most beautiful love story ever told, the story of you coming home to yourself. You know that constant urge to seek validation from psychics, readers, or spiritual advisors? That compelling need to ask, is this real? Or when will they come back? It's like carrying a compass, but constantly asking strangers for directions. Think about this. Every time you reach outside yourself for answers, you're essentially telling your inner wisdom, I don't trust you. It's like having a direct phone line to the divine, but choosing to play telephone through multiple people instead. Your inner guidance system, that quiet, knowing voice within, is your most reliable navigator on this journey. Here's the truth that might shake you a bit. Every single external opinion about your connection, yes, including mine, is just static noise compared to the crystal clear signal of your own inner knowing. Your heart knows the truth. Your soul holds the map. The answers you're seeking aren't in the cards, the stars, or someone else's intuition. They're in the quiet spaces between your own heartbeats. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to hear a whispered message while standing in a crowded room full of people shouting their opinions. That's what happens when we constantly seek external validation. We drown out the very guidance we're meant to hear. The paradox is beautiful, though. The moment you stop seeking answers outside yourself, they begin flowing from within with remarkable clarity. It's like finally turning off all the noise and realizing the music you've been searching for has been playing softly within you all along. So here's my invitation to you, dear one. What if, just for today, you trusted that you already know everything you need to know? What if you allowed yourself to be guided by that quiet, knowing voice within? Because here's the magical truth. When you start trusting your own inner guidance, the universe begins orchestrating things in ways more beautiful than any psychic could predict. Remember, you're not just the seeker on this journey, you're also the keeper of your own sacred truth. And isn't that the most empowering realization of all? Let the external noise fade away, beloved. Your heart already knows the way home. You know that feeling of desperately wanting to fast forward to the happy ending? That constant yearning for union that feels like an ache in your soul? Well, what if I told you that this very rush to union might be the very thing keeping you from the profound transformation this journey is meant to catalyze? Think of it like this. Imagine you're watching the most beautiful, intricate movie ever made, but all you can think about is getting to the end credits. You'd miss all the character development, the subtle plot twists, the meaningful moments that make the ending worth reaching. That's exactly what happens when we become too fixated on union as the ultimate goal. One woman who was absolutely determined to make union happen within a specific time frame. She had it all planned out, the perfect scenario, the ideal timing, even the conversations they'd have. But here's the beautiful irony that unfolded. The moment she stopped chasing the finish line and started embracing her own journey of becoming, everything shifted. Not just in her twin flame connection, but in every aspect of her life. You see, this journey isn't actually about reaching a destination. It's about becoming more authentic, more aligned, more you. The universe isn't withholding union from you. It's giving you the greatest gift of all, the opportunity to fall in love with your own soul first. Here's a truth bomb that might sting a little. If you're listening or reading this article, hoping to find the secret formula to speed up union, you're still missing the cosmic memo. This path isn't a sprint to the finish line. It's a sacred dance of transformation. Each delay is actually a divine appointment with yourself, an invitation to dive deeper into your own healing and growth. Think about a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. If you try to rush this process, if you attempt to help by opening the cocoon too early, you actually prevent the butterfly from developing the strength it needs to fly. The struggle, the waiting, the transformation, it's all essential. Your twin flame journey works the same way. Let me share something vulnerable. In my own journey, I discovered that my obsession with union was actually a clever disguise for avoiding the deep inner work I needed to do. It was easier to focus on when will they come back than to ask myself, why am I afraid to be alone? Or what parts of myself am I not fully loving yet? The most beautiful paradox of this journey is that union isn't something you achieve. It's something you become ready for by falling so deeply in love with your own path that union becomes the cherry on top rather than the whole sundae. When you truly understand this, every moment of separation transforms from a painful waiting period into a sacred opportunity for growth. So, can you give yourself permission to slow down, to savor each step of this journey, to trust that perhaps the universe isn't delaying your union, it's preparing you for something even more magnificent than what your human mind can imagine? Remember, the real magic isn't in reaching the destination, it's in who you become along the way. And isn't that transformation the true gift of this divine dance we call the twin flame journey? You know what's beautiful about this whole twin flame journey? Every single delay you're experiencing right now is actually a divine gift in disguise. The moment you stop seeing these blocks as obstacles and starts embracing them as stepping stones, everything shifts. Let's get real for a moment. If you've recognized any of these patterns in yourself, well, congratulations. Seriously. Awareness is the first and most crucial step toward transformation, and you're already there. Remember what I said at the beginning. This journey isn't just about romantic reunion. It's about becoming the highest version of yourself. Each block we discussed isn't really a block at all. It's an invitation to grow, to heal, to transform. Think of it as the universe's way of saying, hey, beautiful soul, here's another opportunity to level up. Here's what I want you to take away from all this. You're not doing anything wrong. You're exactly where you need to be right now. Instead of trying to rush through these experiences or beat yourself up about them, try this instead. Embrace each challenge as a sacred part of your journey. Trust that divine timing is always perfect timing. Focus on your own growth and let the universe handle the rest. The most powerful thing you can do right now is let go. Yes, really. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the how. Let go of the need to control the outcome. Trust that the universe has a plan far more beautiful than anything you could orchestrate. Remember, union isn't something you chase. It's something you become ready for. And you're already well on your way. Keep shining your light, and the universe has your back.